How are we doing, folks? Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin. I know it's been a while. I've been super busy lately. So not only is this an overdue return to the channel, this is also an overdue video. This is going to be part 2 of my Overkill retrospective. So well over a year ago, we finished with WFO, and now we're going to be covering 1995 to 2007. Basically, my guide is going to be this box set, the History Kill. If you haven't picked this up, highly recommended, especially if you're an Overkill hardcore fan. Well, I would have thought you would have had a lot of this already, but if you came late like I did, a lot of these albums were hard to get hold of, either out of print or if you found it anywhere online, it'd be really expensive. So this is a really good one-stop shop. On this, what do you get? You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 studio albums, 1 compilation, a covers compilation, so say 8 albums, 2 live albums, a 2 CD best of, and a bonus disc. So yeah, this is jam-packed. So it's a good one-stop shop, as we say. Yeah, so if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard, and part 1 of this retrospective I'll put in the description. This is quite a bit of a controversial period of the band's back catalogue, and we're 20 albums in now. Yeah, a lot of people write it off, but I think there's a lot of gold in this period as well. A lot of hidden gems. But yeah, a lot of people, excuse me, they sort of write this period off, but you find those people write this period off in general when it comes, especially with thrash metal bands. So we'll get into it album by album, but yeah, this shows the band's experimenting with a lot of different textures and sounds and styles, and I think this sort of dispels the myth that that Overkill are like this consistent band where they've just, you know, it's been plain sailing the whole time. No, you know, and there's also this myth that an Overkill album is an Overkill album, and that's couldn't be further from the truth. There's a lot of experimentation, a lot of different styles going on. God, we've got ballads, we've got clean vocals with piano, we've got, you know, flirting with industrial, we've got hardcore, as well as thrash and classic heavy metal. It all goes in the pot with Overkill, and like I said before, I've done a couple of attempts on this actually, so I don't know if I said this on this take or what, but yeah, there's a lot of experimentation, but what works stays and gets incorporated going forward into the band's sounds when they sort of come full circle later, and what doesn't gets dropped. But you know, it's worth hearing them try it out. So yeah, I think there's a lot of good stuff in this period of the band. I think the main critique I would have of any of these albums is that they're, you know, they can be too long. The average length for these albums is about 50 minutes, but that was the case with a lot of albums released in that time. A lot of bands had that, where, you know, every album could have been, you know, a 2 songs shorter. But yeah, again, I'm not going to hold that against the band, because that was a common problem with a lot of bands at that time. I think there's never been a complete stinker of an album when it comes to Overkill. People may have their least favourite album, but I think most of them, in most cases, it's basically, if you went to like what's the worst album, it'd just be the one they listen to the least. And with all of these albums, when I go through reviews or listening to, like, watching videos on YouTube, and I'm reading the comments, every one of these albums, at some point, someone will say that's my favourite Overkill album. And I think, generally speaking, I think Overkill are one of those bands where your favourite album is basically the first one you bought. It's the one you jumped on at. So, yeah, let's go into it then without any further ado. So first off on this box set, you've got a live album. So we're starting off with the lineup really of WFO. This lineup came in together from Necroscope, and yeah, you got Wrecking Your Neck live. Let's get into it. Yeah, so what you get I'll take the first couple out. You get them in these digipack green sleeves, but then the actual booklet with the actual artwork and the original colour. That's what you get on all of these, you know. So yeah, pretty cool collection. All bonus tracks are included with these as well, so it's a nice little feature. Right, let's get started. So first off, we've got this is this is a 10-year anniversary of the band, celebrating 10 years. This is a 20-song set, a bit more than that actually. Yeah, 22 song set. Sorry, excuse me. Over 2 CDs. Really good set. Again, this is the WFO lineup. Let's quickly go through that actually. So you got obviously Bobby Blitz on vocals, Dee Dee Verney on bass, Tim Malaire on drums. He's going to stay in the band, but this will be the last release with Merrick Gunn and Rob Canavino on guitars. And then next up we have the Killing Kind with a new lineup, which we will discuss in a second. Let me just find the right page. Yeah, so the Killing Kind is the first of a trilogy, really. This was released in 1996. Tim Malaire still on drums. And then we've got Joe, I think Joe Comio, I think that is, on guitar. And Sebastian Marino also on guitar, who's sadly no longer with us. He died earlier this year. This is, yeah, twin guitar lineup. And first of 3 albums. And Joe, I do apologise if he's watching, if he does somehow end up watching this. Joe Comio, I think that is, after leaving Overkill, went in to sing for Annihilator. I think he did 2 albums and a live album with them. But yeah, again, pretty much of his time, this one. Starts off with Battle, which kind of has this weird 90s loop. So it kind of has this like, and then you got Bobby going, yeah, like Lane Staley. That goes round. Although it does have some big riffs and some big grooves in it, kind of Pantera-y in that sort of style. Kind of Prong, really, in places. Prong, you're going to hear me compare them to Prong quite a lot in these going albums. Going forward, reviewing these albums, I meant to say. But yeah, the war, that part, you know, kind of brings Prong into it. Godlike opens with this sort of piercing scream. But it's thrashy, it's got big chords. And again, it's, you know, what you're getting with this sort of era of the band. Certifiable is kind of rockabilly. There's a bit of it reminds me of rockabilly, that one. Again, it's got like another loop, and it's got this whoa thing going on. Burn You Down is got a nice melodic bass intro on that one. Yeah, got a bit of a dark lead in the intro as well. It's very atmospheric and dark. It's a cool doomy number. Burn You Down. Let Me Shut That For You. Good rocking track. Got hardcore chants in that one. It's got a cool quiet bit in the middle with that All Over the World chorusy bit. But yeah, it kicks back in nicely, and then you got Bobby going, "Sit down, shut the fuck up," in the voice that only he can deliver. Boldface Pagan Stomp. The intro of that reminds me kind of, you know, like from Dusk Till Dawn. It's got that sort of deserty sort of feel to it. That sort of 90s action. Robert Rodriguez kind of reminds me of that a little bit. But yeah, pretty good. Good, fair, but you know, it's a pretty forgetful song, to be honest, but it's all right. Feeding Frenzy is an instrumental, which I'm a big fan of instrumentals. I wish more people used them, well, more people had them now, but it's always good. You know, Overkill aren't really a stranger to them, and it's always good when they use one. Got a good Geezer Butler sort of bass solo at the beginning of that. The Cleansing got a big sort of epic traditional metal like riff melody on that one. Kind of reminds me, actually, the Cleansing reminds me of something Dio or Sabotage, you know, in that sort of classic sort of 90s type. Awesome solo on that as well, actually. The Morning After, we get piano and clean vocals on an Overkill album, you know. And I thought this was just, you know, they're a band that just did thrash. So there you go. This is what I'm saying. You got a lot of experimentation and a lot of different things being tried out in this era of the band. And yeah, cold hard fact, that song just sticks in your head. It's got that, you know, that dun, 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 dun. I'm trying to do the drum beat there, but it's got that dun, 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 beat. And when it comes to that cold hard fact, gonna hit you on your back, yeah. That will haunt you at 2 o'clock in the morning, I promise you. But yeah, it's a good closer to an album. All in all, an enjoyable. It's a varied album, but it's easy to listen to. It kind of goes by nicely, and yeah, they're trying stuff out. You know, this new album with a new lineup, and let's throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. Kind of album. Next up, you got from the Undergrounds and Below. Luke, who I do Maiden Cast with, this is his favourite Overkill album, and funnily enough, one of Bobby Blitz's. So you get the idea with the booklet there. Yeah, 1997 this came out, same lineup as before, and yeah, this album is so 90s. It's mad. You know, It Lives is an okay but forgettable kind of opener. Save Me has this sort of well, again with the industrial sort of loop thing going on. Again, kind of reminds me of Prong. Half Past Dead as well is quite a grungy number. Fucked is F-U-C-T. That's vintage Overkill. I'm Alright is a bit of a weird one. Again, it's got this sort of weird industrial sort of loopy rock song with like sort of southern vocals. I'll tell you what, it actually reminds me a bit of Rob Zombie, that track. And then, yeah, we get a ballad with Promises, which has this really sort of cool, anthemic, good feeling chorus. Excuse me. And it's got like this big epic melodic solo on it. It kind of reminds me of Guns N' Roses or something like that. But it's a good feel good song. So again, we're getting lots and lots of different stuff going on. And yeah, some people love this album, you know, and it's a bit of a mishmash, but it's enjoyable. I think it's an album, for me personally, I've got to be in the mood for it. But again, look in the comments section of find on YouTube this album being played in full. People say it's a masterpiece, so it's got its fans, like every album on this does. In 1999, you got Necroshine, and I think that was another thing with these albums. I think a lot of these albums are a little bit too long, but a lot of them have all got hidden gems on there and good tracks. And you may say, oh, you know, this kind of sounds of its time or something like that. But whenever they sort of drop a song from any of this era in their live set, in the middle of the live set, it always goes down well and always works. And Necroshine, the title track for this, is definitely one of those songs. You know, they'll do it in the middle of the thing. You got that, and then that, and then you know, that fucking nice, cold sort of downtrodden riff. It always, yeah, it's a bit of a weird song, but it works perfectly live. 80 Cycles. It's got like a nice thick doomy stoner riff on that one. That How Low Can You Go? I like Blackline as well. That's a really good catchy number. But then there's songs like My December that are a little bit meh, you know. So, but again, it's a good album. Like I say, as I mentioned earlier, Overkill at their worst, I could still deal with, you know. Yeah, good stuff on there, but it's not their best album. But next up, we've got Cover Kill. This one is a covers album, and as far as covers album go, this is one of my favourite. Actually, they a good mixture of songs that they make it all their own, you know. And this came out in 1999 as well, I believe. But what's good about this? Well, you've got a couple of tracks actually from. Basically, you got a compilation of tracks that were recorded during album sessions that were used as either like B-sides or bonus tracks. So they've put them together and then just recorded a couple of new tracks to make an album out of it, basically. So you got a couple of different guitarists on this one. So let's quickly go through it. So you've got you got one track from the Under the Influence session, one from Horoscope, one from the Killing Kind, and 2 from the Underground and Below session. So that's 5 songs that were already recorded, and then you got another 7 new ones. So you got Overkill by Motorhead, obviously. No Feelings by the Sex Pistols. Hymn 33, Jethro Tull. You've got 3 Black Sabbath songs. Do a great version of Never Say Die. Do a really good version of Changes, actually. A really nice, heavy version. Space Trucking by Deep Purple. Can't go wrong with that. Deuce by Kiss. You got Tyrant by Judas Priest. Ramones. But yeah, really good mixture of songs by a good mixture of bands where they make it their own song. It's really, really good. I'm getting lost in this box set now. Where have we... is that Necro Shine? So then we got... What we got? Got Cover Kill. I've just done that. So next up, we've got Bloodletting from 2000. And let's get the next one out so I don't lose my place again. Bloodletting. Now, this is the... another new lineup change. So, as ever, still got Bobby and Dee Dee on vocals and on bass. Still got Tim Malaire on drums. But now we've got a new guitarist, Dave Linsk, who is still in the band today. So this is when Dave jumps on board. This is the band are a 4-piece now, and they were first time they were a 4-piece since the Year of Decay. The Year of Decay? Oh, again. Yeah, the Years of Decay. Sorry, I knew I got that wrong. The Years of Decay, 1989. So obviously Dave Linsk has got some. He's stepped into. He's got some pretty big shoes to fill, basically, isn't he? And I think he's throwing everything he's got into this album. And the band, again, are using a new lineup as a chance to experiment and throw everything at the wall and see what sticks going forward. So this is a bit of a mishmash of an album. But it's got its good Thunderhead. It's got like a, dare I say it, new metal sounds. Kind of industrial. Bleed Me is straightforward, sort of no nonsense, but yeah, really good song actually. Left Hand Man is starts off sort of thing and builds up. It's pummeling at the end. Blown Away has got like a bit of a grungy intro, but it's melodic and got good atmosphere. But yeah, it's a good album, but not one I go to that often, to be honest. But it's good that Dave Linsk is now in the band, and it works. He's still in the band today. Next up, you've got Hello from the Gutter. This is just a 2 CD best of. There's no booklet in this one. It's got some mixed reviews on this one. I think that what a lot of the classic tracks are just live tracks, but I think that was down to ownership from different labels and whatnot. I don't think I would have bought it myself, but it's handy to have in this box set. So, moving on swiftly, what we got? Right, we've got Wrecking Everything. So, got another live album here. Right, basically, this is good, but it's 12 tracks. Don't bother getting that when you can get 24 tracks on the entire show on the DVD. So this is live at where is it? Asbury Park. This you get the full 24 song set plus interviews and behind the scenes, and I think you get a video on there. Yeah, all that good stuff. Yeah, not really. Like I say, glad it's part of the box set, but the DVD is far superior. Yeah, get yourself this nice and cheap. Get yourself some beers. Watch that instead. That's essential. That's an essential Overkill. In fact, if you're not even in, if you don't know where to start with Overkill, I would say get that. Start with that, and then start getting the albums bit by bit. I would say start with that. Get the latest album whenever you're watching this. So be it Scorched or whatever album is at the time, and then start from the beginning and work your way through. But yeah, that's a really good set, really good mishmash. Oh, I might as well show you now. I picked this up. First Kills, the early demos. I can't remember where I bought it from though. I think I know the site, but I can't remember what the site's called off the top of my head. But yeah, this is the early demos, and yeah, it's blatantly a bootleg, but whatever. It's been put together. So you got the Overkill EP from 1985, the Field of Fire demo from 1984, and the Power in Black demo tape, which is awesome, from 83. And we've got a demo version of Overkill 3 Under the Influence. I know it's a bootleg and all the rest of it, but if the band release this officially, I'll buy that as well and get rid of that. But that's how I am with bootlegs, you know. If an album's out of print or something like that, I'll get it if it's there, if it's available. And then if it's officially re-released, I'll buy that as well. That's my compromise. So next up, we've got Killbox 13. Oh, no, wrong one. Nope. Where are we? Nope. Where is it? There we go. Right, I'm going to just keep these out now, I think, because... where are we? I think, yeah, I've flown through this, really. Right, Killbox 13, 2003. And this is the first one where Derek Taylor jumps on board. Now, I think during the Bloodletting tour, Dee Dee had to step out of the band temporarily. I don't know if he was ill or he had some family business to attend to. And Derek Taylor jumped in on bass for that tour. And at that point, he was known for playing bass in Dee Snider's solo band. And apparently just went down really well with the band. They liked him and got him to join. So he came on as a second guitarist. Now, if you're an Overkill fan, clear this one up for me. Because it says here on Metal Archives that Derek, up until... Let's have a look, yeah. So this is on Metal Archives. Despite being a full member of Overkill, Derek did not perform on any studio album prior to The Wings of War. And Dave Lisk played all guitar parts and Taylor just providing backing vocals. So although he's been in the band since 2001, so that's Killbox, Relics, Immortalist, Ironbound, The Electric Age, White Devil Armory and Grinding Wheel. All of those albums, all Derek's done is backing vocals. He hasn't played any guitar on any of them. I find that hard to believe. Why would he not play guitar on them? And it's not as if the guy can't play. So, is it true? And if so, just clear it up for me. I mean, was it a locality thing? I don't know. What is the deal with that? Because obviously the guy can shred, you know. I've seen Overkill live as well. His ability, his stage, you know, the guy's got it. So I just find it weird that he didn't play on the album. So how true is that statement? I'm just reporting it by what it says on Metal Archives. And I even was in an Overkill Facebook group, and I asked the question. I just said, like, is that true? If so, does anyone know why? And everyone, like, dogpiled me, started giving me shit, like I was attacking him. And I was like, I've got nothing against the guy. I'm just asking a question because I think it's weird. But anyway, little rant aside. Yeah, so Derek Taylor's now in the band. So you got Derek and Dave Linsk, and again, they're now in the bands today. So we're approaching present day now, basically. Tim Miller still in the band, I believe. Yeah, let's quickly check. Yeah, Tim Miller's still in the band on drums. Yeah, so get into the music. Devil by the Tail was a really good album opener. You just picture the live show, you know. Yeah, nice, chuggy, catchy, got good hooky chorus. No light, edges on the heavier side of grunge. Think Alice in Chains, you know, like think that sort of the grunge bands that kind of still had one foot left in metal, you know. Cool song though, but yeah, kind of got a bit of a grunge feel to it. The One is good, riffy and catchy, sort of vintage Overkill. Crystal Clear has got a nice sort of Sabbath feel to it. Until I Die, it's another sort of grungy song with a bit more of a bluesy feel to it, especially it's got got blues flavour to that one. It's quite nice. Gets nice and heavy towards the end as well. It picks up. Struck down. It's got a real good sort of gallopy, you know, chorus to it. And yeah, overall, solid album basically. No more, no less really. No frills. It's Overkill doing Overkill at this point. Like I say, Overkill at their worst, I can still listen to them, you know. What we got next? So we got a bit of an odd title, this Relics, but Relics 14. So you got it's the 14th album. Now apparently this is actually their 13th, but they count their first demo as a release. So yeah, make of that what you will. But yeah, it's a Roman for 14 at the end there. So Relics 14. This one I really like. I really, you know, we're getting back to where we should. Well, no, yeah, I say the Overkill that we know and love. We're coming. It's sort of we're getting back to we're approaching the new reinvigorated winning streak on this album. In fact, I'll probably say, let's get into it. So yeah, Relics 14 is 2005, and yeah, then this will be the last album with Tim Miller on drums, but same lineup as before. Love, it's got this big meaty riff in the middle, which I think is fantastic. Within Your Eyes is another good album opener. Pound of Flesh, yeah, the higher, go higher. It's yeah, Bobby's voice, man. No one sounds like him, and he sounds like no one, and only he can do what he does. But yeah, with all these albums, there's a really good. Bobby really does put his voice to work. He tries all these different, you know, weird different things with his voice, and it does its things with his songwriting that, you know, only he can get away with. And there's songs on all of these albums that they're kind of weird, but it's Overkill trying different stuff, and it's kind of pulled off in a way that only Overkill can do. So Wheels, that's the one I wanted to tell you about. Awesome tune, big riffs. It's kind of like got like a bouncy riff to it, but it's a big hook. I love Wheels. That's a real cool. That's a deep cut by Overkill. That yeah, I'd love to. If I go see them this year, when next time they come to the UK, if they just threw that in the middle of the set, I'd be in seventh heaven. It's an awesome song, and I really love Old School, the album closer as well. And my 12-year-old likes that as well. It was at the end of a horror film that he was watching. My kid's getting into his horror films now, and he came up to me and went, "Have you heard of a song called Old School by a band called Overkill?" And I was like, "Overkill, right? Come this way." So yeah, and there's a really cool video of them doing that live as well. But yeah, great way to close an album, and it's got that hardcore feel to it, that sort of Dropkick Murphys, beer, sing along. We are the old school. Da, 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 da. Awesome stuff. Yeah, it's just a really good feel good song that yeah, closes the album nicely. Where are we? Let's put this back. Yeah. Bear with me, folks. Nope. Yeah. Right. Here we go. Right, and then we've come to the end. So this is Immortalist, and I think the Is meant to be a 15. I really like this album as well. This just incorporates everything up until this point. It's a mishmash. When I said like all the experimentation is over now, what has worked is in this album, and what doesn't work has dropped from now on. And then in the next album, we're going to get a full return to full-on thrash with everything that they've learned along the way incorporated in. And this is the mark of that. For some reason, a lot of people give this album shit, and I have no idea why, because I think it's superb. Awesome artwork as well. I mean, you know you're getting an Overkill album with that album cover. Right, so we got a new drummer on this one. So obviously you still got Derek and Dave on guitars. You've got obviously Dee Dee and Bobby still in the band, and yeah, now this is the first album with Rob Lipnicki, I think that is Rob Lipnicki, and he went on to stay with the band for I think he did like a 5-album stretch with the band. Let's have a quick look. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he did 5 albums with them. No doubt there's a live album in there somewhere as well. Yeah, so we've got a new drummer. I was going to say something, but I can't remember what it was. It's bugging me now. Not to worry. Let's get into the album. So, yeah, Immortalist. This is 2007. We're up to now. Oh, so yeah, last one. So, Head On. Yeah, good. Devil in the Misses, sorry, is a really good album opener. You can see them opening a live set with them, with that track. Skull and Bones features Randy Blythe from Lamb of God. It's got this kind of stonery, think down, think trouble, like a southern stonery sort of chorus. When you got Randy giving it over it as well. I think he sounds a little bit out of place. No, I thought he sounded out of place at first, but when I've listened to this a couple of times in order for this video, it started to grow on me. Walk Through the Fire is Walk Through Fire is the best song AC/DC never wrote. Think AC/DC at their best, but Overkill playing it. Awesome song. Another deep track along with Wheels, which I mentioned earlier. I think gets overlooked by a lot of people. No, fantastic song. Head On is a good mid-paced rocker. Speeds up towards the end, but it's a really good song. The songwriting, I think, has really come along as these albums go as well. Hell is another one with a real cool Sabbath vibe to it. It's got a real cool sort of down, sort of doomy, down sort of what's the word? Gloomy riff to it, but really, really good. And yeah, it's just a real good song with a cool Sabbath vibe. Hell is. And then closing track, Overkill 5, The Brand. Oh yeah, so starting on Feel the Fire, you've got they would do Overkill and then Overkill 2, Overkill 3 and so on. So yeah, Overkill 5, The Brand. Yeah, really good song. Really good, great way to close an album. Good chuggy track. It sort of flips into thrash later on. It's dark and atmospheric, which, you know, real serious because, you know, Overkill deliver with a wink and a smile, don't they? But they can do dark and serious when they want to, and atmospheric when they want to. And it's not done that often, but when it is done, it's a treat. It's done properly. And the way the album closes with this real cool, dark melody, great way to close an album. Overall, this is a great album. All the band's elements, all the elements of the band's sound are mixed in for this one to make a real cohesive, solid listen. And this is the weird era. This is the hard work era of the band, and wasn't so bad, was it? You know, if that's as bad as it gets, you got a good band and a good catalogue. So long overdue. I'm glad I've got through it. Part 2 of Overkill, and then part 3 will be coming up soon. And we're going to be doing Ironbound up into Scorched, and then I think I really like Cover Kill on this. I really like I like songs from all of them, but I really like Relics and Immortalist. I think are my 2 favourites on this one. From the Underground and Below is a bit of an oddball, but it's worth a listen. Have a look out for that, because Overkill's demos are well worth getting if you can get hold of them. But yeah, definitely check out this DVD as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Part 1 will be in the description, as well as the Scorched review. I'm going to do another retrospective of another band first, and then I'm going to come back after that and do part 3 of Overkill, and I'm going to get this finished. So yeah, thanks for watching as always, guys. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.